Hey guys, this is JonTaun for Total Brohammer, and today I'll be bringing you round 6 of my tournament replays from Shetland Apache's King's Cup tournament. Alright, today I'm the Dark Elves, of course, and I will actually be fighting my good friend, the Gobbo King, as the Greenskins. So, at this point in the day, we were both very tired, and you'll see the results of that. Alright, army composition, let's go over it. For my army, I brought a Dread Spear, 2 Bleak Swords, 3 Bleak Swords, another Dread Spear on this flank, 3 Hargoneth Executioners, another Dread Spear in the back, 1 Witch Elf, and Death Hag on her Blood Cauldron, or whatever that thing's called, Malekith on a Dragon, and I've also got a Dark Rider over here, and a Dark Rider over here. And as you can see, Gobbo was on my tricks. We've played each other so many times that he expected this. So I have my Dark Riders right here, and right next to him, he's got some Goblin Wolf Riders. So he's got some Orc Boar Boy Biggins over here to help with any suspected tricks in the back. And if there wasn't any, he can just pull them back to the front line. Got another group of Orc Boar Boy Biggins right here. He's got some Goblins, the Rusty Arrows, some Goblin Archers, 3 Squig Herd, a front line of Savage Orc Biggins, Orc Boys, Savage Orc Biggins, Night Goblins. These are the unbreakable ones. I think they're the 8 Pink Loonies, not sure. For some reason on this unit it never actually shows the regiment or renown they are. Anyway, another Orc Boy, another Savage Orc Biggin, and another Goblin in the front, most likely to absorb arrow fire. He's also got the Mangy Marauders over here. For his lord, he's got Azhag. Let's see what spells he's brought. Probably a standard kit of... Come on, let me get it. Yeah, the Fate of Being and Spirit Leech, so just what you'd expect. So let's kick it off here, and it's going to start immediately. So, immediately, I'm going to move these guys out, and they have 92 speed compared to these guys. Okay, so both these guys are the same speed, but thankfully for me, I am able to get away. Somehow. I'm not sure how, but he's going to try to come in and close the noose, but my guys are much faster than his Orc Boy Biggins. He realized this, he's not going to catch me, so he's just going to pull his guys back. So, seeing that he's way over here, I'm going to bring these guys down here, and I'm going to bring these guys up soon. And I'm going to start advancing on him. He does have the skirmish advantage with these Mogrop's Mangy Marauders. They are armor piercing, they are very fast, and they're a very good unit, a very good regiment of renown. There's almost no matchup where they're a bad choice. Alright, so let's speed up here as we begin to advance. So I'm just going to poke and prod a little bit with these Mogrop's Mangy Marauders. I'm going to pull back my high value targets. I'm going to bring these Dark Riders over here because he already knows about them, and they're not going to do anything way over there. Going to send one around his back flank, one over to the left side over here. He's going to drop a Fate of Buna on these Hargoneth Executioners, and then we're just going to engage throughout the front line. These spearmen, these Bleak Swords are going to cut up these goblins here, and these Savage Orc Biggins and Night Goblins are just going to destroy those Dread Spears. I get a really bad breath attack. I really should have waited. So I'm just going to be charging across the front line. And these Squig Herd, guys, these guys are a gem. They just do so much damage on the charge. Look, this Hargoneth Executioner just took a charge from 2 Squig Herd. Granted, it was at half health, but now it's going much worse. I'm going to send these Witch Elves in here to make sure all these guys rampage. And he puts Azhag down right here, but I don't think I'm able to catch it in time. I'm microing somewhere else. He's coming from my Dark Riders over here, and I'm spinning these Dark Riders alongside. I'm going to use the Fear and Terror of this Death Hag to go along the front line and try to win it, because the Greenskin front line is very strong, and to be able to break it, I'm going to need to use Dragon Breath and the Death Hag, Fear and Terror of Malekith and the Death Hag, as well as Malekith's magic. So he does get Azhag Slaughter down here, and I think I did get my Witch Elves on him. I don't recall, but they have been routed off by this Orc Boar Boy Biggins. So these guys, I started running them off, but they do get caught by these Goblin Wolf Riders, and they're going to get decimated over here. So we are winning right here. He's going to drop another Fate of Buna right here. And I do get my Dark Riders into the cookie jar that is his Goblin firing squad. So thanks to this Death Hag over here, I am winning the front line. Not to mention the Hargath Executioners. And look at this, guys. The Death Hag was able to make it so that Dread Spears can beat Savage Orc Biggins. That's how useful the Death Hag is. It does so much damage while it's riding through. Though they do have the support of Hargath Executioners right now. So I just have it over here, and its Fear and Terror is invaluable. And Malekith and Azhag are just kind of dancing around each other, looking to strike wherever we can get. So another thing about this army, I didn't bring any range, so there's not really anything for his Goblin Wolf Riders to go after. So these guys are going to come back, and I'm just going to send them over here to finish off these Goblin Wolf Riders. Because if they can get a rear charge, and if he's not watching, they can probably rout them off despite being very outnumbered in that low health. So his army is starting to fall apart. I'm just bringing all my guys together. It's still pretty close. I'm not confident at this point yet. But Malekith is very high health, and so is the Death Hag. And the Death Hag, guys, something to note here. Death Hag actually has, let's see if I can get it, magic resistance of 25%, as well as missile resistance of 25%, as well as physical resistance of 12%. So the Death Hag is a very tanky unit, not to mention it has 80 armor and anti-infantry bonus, so a great unit all around. So I do get Malekith caught out here, and this is a bad situation with Malekith. These Orc Warboy Biggins are anti-large and armor-piercing, and Azhag the Slaughter is coming in here, and he's also got the Waagh down, so they're going to be getting a lot of good hits. I do drop a Soul Stealer, however, and the Fear and Terror does rout off the Orc Warboy Biggins, and Azhag the Slaughter just cannot stand up against Malekith, even with the Waagh on in melee. So, yeah, guys, Fear and Terror is super strong against the Greenskins. That's pretty much how you have to beat him. He had these squids come in here. Thankfully, I did have my guys brace, but it's not gonna be enough. They're still gonna get wrecked. So I got my Death Hag into these Mogrub's Mangy Marauders, so they can't fire. They're almost out of ammo anyway. I'm not sure what they were shooting yet, but the entire match, but they didn't do too much damage to anything major. My Death Hag is pretty low, so maybe they were shooting at that. It did get Spirit Leech a lot. So he's going to come in here and terrify all my guys off, but I'm just going to send Malekith in after him, and he's going to mess them up pretty good. Azhag, he's a good lord, for sure. He's got magic, he's good in combat, but these dragons, a Wyvern doesn't stand up against any dragon, really. Maybe a Sun Dragon, I'm not sure. So my Death Hag over here is just hanging on by a thread, and we get all these Orc Boys and Savage Orc Biggins. I'm just going to come in, and they're just going to terrify it off. And the Fear and Terror is so good against the Greenskins because things like Savage Orcs and I think even Squigherd have Frenzy. Let me see. No, I don't think they do have Frenzy. They do have Rampage, though. What is this? Let's check that out over here. Oh, well, you can't. In any case, very good game to Gobbo. Dark Elves can be really hard to deal with for the Greenskins. Though I do think Greenskins are... If there was there's tier 1 and there's tier 2, I'd say the Greenskins are like tier 1.5. They have some bad matchups, but most of their matchups are pretty dang good. They can hang now. You got a lot of buffs. So Malekith did really good. The Death Hag was invaluable. My Bleak Swords and Dread Spears were just there holding the line. These guys got wrecked by the Squigherd and that Fate of Buna. These guys got... I think these were the ones who got hit by a Fate of Buna as well, but they got some decent kills. This one over here, look at him. He did absolutely fantastic. And these Dark Riders were more of a distraction than anything. They didn't get much done. So Azhag got some really good magic off. He made a few mistakes there, sending him into melee with Malekith too much, I think. He just needed to try to kite and keep him within range of his Gobbo firing squad here. I was able to shut down the Gobbo firing squad pretty easily with magic and just Dark Rider harass. I mean, I never really got in on them, but I was keeping them distracted the entire time. So, Savage Orc Biggins over here did absolutely fantastic. They were probably beating up on those Dread Spears, probably these guys right here. His other ones did okay. Orc Warboy Biggins. Now, I never use these guys. I see a lot of high-level players use them, but they always just seem to terror route too easy. So I never bring them personally, but Gobbo knows a lot more about playing the Greenskins than me. Mogrub's Mangy Marauders. I'm assuming he got a lot of damage in on this Death Hag. They're almost always useful. Excuse me, guys. And we got 3 Squigherd. They just absolutely wrecked those Hargath Executioners. But yeah, so that's 1 for JonTaun against the Gobbo King. Like I said, Gobbo King, both of us are really tired at this point. I think that had a lot to do with me winning the first game. Alright, so on to game 2. So my army, I've got Malekith, 2 Bleak Swords, 3 Dread Spears, Witch Elf, 3 Harrowed Executioners. I do bring some range this time, 2 Dark Shards with Shields, and 1 Dark Rider, and 1 Cold One Knight. So Gobbo over here has got the classic skirmishing squad for the Greenskins, the Death Creepers, and the Mogreb's Mange Marauders. He's also got 3 Black Orcs and 2 Savage Orcs in the front line. I like that. Orc Boy Biggins, y'all know how I feel about those. And he's also got the Arachnarok Queen, so I'm glad I brought those Dark Shards. And he's got Azhag the Slaughterer, who is, yeah, is probably the most competitive lord for the Greenskins. I think Warzak can be good, but when you have things like a dragon flying around, he can be pretty easily sniped. Also, here are my Dark Riders out here, and me and Gobbo were actually in the same lobby, I believe, when we were playing this. And he was just saying, "Now I know you have some Dark Riders over here, because, like I said, we practice and play each other a lot." So he pretty much calls me on all my Dark Rider shenanigans. But let's get into it here. So I'm just going to be advancing here. He's going to be doing a little bit of skirmishing. Going to come in with Azhag over here and probably pop a Fate of Bino on something. Get some magic off nice and early. As you can see, I'm forgetting my Witch Elves as I have them in a separate group for my army. I do that a lot. But we'll see how that affects the battle. Alright, so I'm just going to chase off Azhag over here. Has he dropped any magic yet? Probably not. I figure he's probably waiting for his Winds of Magic reserve to go all the way up. That's what I usually do, because it's just more efficient that way. And he's just going to be charging up with his Black Orcs and Savage Orcs. And I'm going to be doing the same thing with my Bleak Swords, Dread Spears, and Harrowed Executioners. Going to drop a Chill Wind right here. And I'm going to line up, and I'm perfectly lined up for a Breath Attack on these Black Orcs. So I have the Breath Attack, and he has Fate of Buna. I'm going to send in my Cold One Knights over here. He's going to respond with his Orc Boy Biggins. I'm fine with that, though, because I have these Dread Spears coming in that are going to come in from behind. Going to send my Dark Riders after his Skirmisher Squad, just to keep him on his toes over there. And he has come through the center line with some Spiders and the Ragnarok Wing. So I'm going to get these Spears, come hold up the Spider, and I'm going to try to pull these Dread Spears out. So he's going to charge in with these Harrowed Executioners and do a lot of damage. And I'm sending Malekith around the edges because I want to try and terrify off all his Savage Orcs, because they're doing a lot of damage to my Dread Spears. So I'm going to come in here, and like I said, Orc Boy Biggins have a lot of terror route issues. Going to drop a Soul Stealer right here. Finally going to remember my Witch Elves, get him on the Ragnarok Wing, and I've had my Dark Shards been shooting at the Ragnarok Wing, so it's pretty low now. He's over here, and Azhag the Slaughterer here is fighting Cold One Knights, and that's not really a fight he wants to take, because those guys are armor-piercing anti-large. How much armor does he have? 70? Yeah, so they're going to do pretty good. He does screen with some Black Orcs, though, and try to get out. And I think he is going to be able to get out here. But at this point, I'm surrounding his Black Orcs, though he is going to get a Fate of Bina off on these Harrowed Executioners, as well as... I guess he's not going to go for first around there. Here's what he's going to do. He's going to try to come and save Azhag. I'm going to hit him with a Chill Wind to slow him down. Over here, he did break through my Dread Spears and stuff. And I have my Dark Shards trying to finish off this Ragnarok Wing, because it's coming back into the battle. And now we've just outnumbered these Black Orcs. So he still does have these Spiders, but if you put these guys on guard mode, they will actually keep on firing despite being attacking in the rear or something. He's doing some rear charges over here, trying to break this pocket. But I've got these Black Orcs surrounded, and they are not doing well. As well as these Harrowed Executioners back here that aren't even engaged. My Dark Riders have just been chasing down either his Skirmishers or routing units the whole match, and they've really paid for themselves. I love the Dark Riders. And at that point, his whole army is going to start to shatter, and that's pretty much going to be it, guys. So that is 2-0, JonTaun and Gobbo King. I have, at this point, this is the last round. Now it's basically semifinals, and I do make it into the semifinals. So I think I have one more round to cast, and that'll be up probably tomorrow. So let's look at the breakdown here. Malekith did okay. Azhag got some really good magic off. Savage Orc speed up. Bleak Swords and Dread Spears. Black Orcs didn't do that great, but they did better than my Harkness Executioners. Dark Shards were invaluable. It's a great call taking them in this matchup. And the Cold War Knights also got really good damage on old Azhag the Slaughter over there, as well as helping with the charge of those Orc Boy Biggins, because they hit the cold ones that were intermixed with like Harkness Executioners, which really kind of halted their charge so that they couldn't do as much damage. Dark Riders, as usual, come in very handy in just providing harass, running down units. And yeah, a really good game to Gobbo King. It was very fun, and this did knock him out of the tournament. But I was kind of unhappy with this because I wanted to be knocked out because I was so tired. But he was happy as well because at this point we had been playing for like 6 or 7 hours, and it was. I'm not doing another Swiss tournament. It just took way too long. But in any case, that's all for this one, guys. This is JonTaun for Total Brohammer signing out.